We are here at the spectacular icon Siam in Bangkok, where we will be hosting the Pitch at Palace ASEAN for the first time in Bangkok. Extremely excited because Global Entrepreneurship Network, or GEN Thailand, has the great honor and pleasure to be collaborating with Buckingham Palace to bring Pitch at Palace ASEAN to Thailand for the first time. And this is something that's going to be happening during the ASEAN Summit in November. We expect all the leaders in town, and we expect the entrepreneurs to be here, and we expect a fantastic turnout and lots of interest generated to help the entrepreneurs in Thailand and in ASEAN. The Pitch at Palace, since the Duke of York started in 2014, it has gained amazing traction. To date, there's about almost 1,000 entrepreneurs. A startup has been involved in this, and it's created about 6,300 jobs in the 5-year period. It's been happening in 62 countries, and amazingly created 1.1 billion pounds of new business activities. Thailand is the chair of ASEAN this year, and with all the all the country leaders here for the ASEAN Summit, and having Pitch at the Palace during the same time, it's just an amazing showcase that we can actually reach out to young entrepreneurs and startups to give them a platform and to create opportunities for them to go beyond ASEAN and see what we can do with investors and mentors and what we call elevators from all around the world. Icon Siam is a beautiful new shopping center. It's a whole mall, and we're using the facilities here. We're very thankful for them to allow us to use this facility.
His Royal Highness the Duke of York is the second son and third child of Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh. Fifth in line to the British throne, he served in the Royal Navy for 22 years before becoming a full-time working member of the royal family, carrying out a wide range of public duties in the United Kingdom and overseas. I was invited into Buckingham Palace for an exclusive look into the life of His Royal Highness. You grew up here in Windsor Castle. What did some of the memories of walking down this corridor bring to you as a child?
Oh, well, this is a corridor that we didn't ever come on. My grandmother, on my father's side, lived in this suite. So we were allowed down here to say hello to her. And that was as far as we ever sort of progressed. Beyond this, we never really went. Upstairs is where we lived and played. There's the series of glass cabinets upstairs in the passage, and we must have played cricket, football, tennis. We played all sorts of ball sports upstairs, and never once did we ever break the glass cabinet doors. How or why, there was a priceless thing. I mean, look, there's a little thing here. I mean, but these sorts of things, in glass cabinets at the top, they're not very thick, but they then fall apart if you break them. And we never broke anything.
Your Highness, we're here at Buckingham Palace, and your offices are, I believe, just upstairs. What are you busy with at the moment? What is the key focus of your work?
3 strands. Skills is the really important one. Comes from recognising that when I've been out working for the UK over a number of years, that if the thing that we've got to get right is getting our young people the skills in order to continue that prosperity that we expect. It's about giving them the right education. It's about giving them the right educational culture. It's about giving them enterprise culture. So it's skills. It's trying to find ways of being able to enhance that for young people. It's then about the fact that science and engineering are going to be very, very important in the way that we are employing young people or asking young people to be entrepreneurial. And then on the third strand, it's looking at how do we turn skilled people into entrepreneurs.
Why do you feel so passionately, sir, about helping the youth
the older generation rely on the younger generation. And if we can't empower the next generation to have the skills and the means at their disposal, we are not going to live a happy retirement. Now, admittedly, members of our family don't retire, but that's neither here nor there. So it's, to some extent, it's that transfer of skills and that transfer of knowledge to young people. And I believe that the next generation are as capable, more capable, have greater opportunities than our generation ever had. So it's about making those possibilities and opportunities more relevant and more alive to young people today.
The Drum ventured west last Friday to Harwell campus near Didcot, where the Duke of York's Pitch at Palace scheme was hosting a boot camp for the UK's tech startups. We caught up with the Duke and the programme's entrepreneurs at the event.
So what we've got to do is to move businesses through the first stage of investment as quickly as we can, so that they can actually get to the stage of being available to a venture capital firm, who are then going to take them on to the next stage. So we want to push them through the system as far as possible. Also, we want to be in a position to be able to encourage people to think about entrepreneurial activity as a means of gaining prosperity, not only for themselves, their families, but also for the UK. The environment in which the UK operates is actually very friendly towards a startup ecosystem. What we've got to do is to, as it were, reinforce in many different ways the value of starting a business in the UK and why you would do it here and not anywhere else.
Many of the startups we spoke to were just as confident as Prince Andrew in the UK's ability to support new businesses, but they all still face both their own unique and shared challenges.
On the investment side, I think some of the decisions made around EIS and SEIS has been great to kind of kickstart initial ideas that people have, and I think that's really to be applauded. But I think the key is, how do you fill that space between seed companies and real world beaters? I think that is the big challenge. So I think government can certainly play a role in making the UK an open place to attract talent, to attract people that work for the top startups, but also just to attract the big corporates and to make it clear that doing business as a big corporate, as a big company with British startups is an attractive proposition.
I think for any startup, you can create a beautiful product, but because your name is unknown, even when people, the customer side, when the big agency, for example, when they love the product and they have heard about it, still takes quite a long time for people to start paying for the product. For them to build trust with you as a new brand, as a new platform in the market. So I think the biggest challenge is actually making the most innovative players in the market trust your new company, your new little platform, and work with you.
As a startup business, we've got quite a few challenges. One is mentoring, because being new to business, we need the kind of guidance to be able to help us push the business forward, but also things like access to funding, access to different markets and clients.
The startup scenes around the world are different, and it's very, very important that we deliver for our ecosystem and we don't try and copy other people's. Now, most people would try and emulate or copy what's going on the west coast of the United States in San Francisco and the Valley. That's not the UK. We do things in a slightly different way. Therefore, take what we do and really turn that into something that is of value. And then many businesses, even from the United States, come here, and we should be going there, we should be going to Germany, we should be going to Israel, we should be going all over the place to see what suits a particular company. But also, once you've started, in most cases, they're going to have to go global anyway, so it's then a question of where do they go globally? And that's where we can also add value.
While the Duke encourages a drive to trade internationally, one thing that could potentially push this strategy off course is Brexit. However, most new business founders are optimistic about a forthcoming departure from the European Union.
Being in Europe was no better, no worse, right? You've got your idea works and go from there. Now, some things which, high number of goods and things like that can be different. But especially technology, ideas, businesses, they're worldwide already on day one.
We are global from the start. We have people in the UK, we have remote people, we have people in Russia, so it's like really international for us, and our customer base is global as well. But I can see how the workforce market domestically, if I want someone in the office in London, how maybe it will be more difficult for me to attract that talent from EU in the coming years. And also maybe from the customer perspective, if the agencies start dividing those budgets or business units or the structure of their business between the UK and Europe, maybe it's like it will be harder to make business with them.
London is the powerhouse for brands and publishers, and it will continue to be that regardless of what happens around Brexit. I have absolutely no doubt about that. What I think the responsibility of government now is to continue to provide the message and actually be open for international talent with hard to get skills to come and work here. So people with data science degrees, with experience in AI, that's a challenge. It's something that we as a company, Codec, really care about and need, and we would feel let down by our government if they close that possibility off.
I think after Brexit, I think we'll be absolutely fine. I think entrepreneurs always find a way to maximise their business. I think people will see it as an opportunity rather than a setback.
I'm here on the Glad on Board a Soaply Road bus, which is going to be touring some university campuses around the UK.
The UK's Prince Andrew is in China this week to attend the Pitch at Palace initiative he founded in 2014 to promote innovation by linking entrepreneurs with investors. CNBC's Eunice Yoon caught up with the Prince in Beijing and started by asking him the reason for the venture.
I'm creating a venture institution, not a venture capital business. And the reason that I'm doing that is that anybody who knows about investing, it is a relationship issue in the early stages. You've got to know the person that you're investing in. You've got to have faith in him. There's no track record in most cases, and so therefore you have to have that relationship. I'm not the person that has built that relationship. I've got to introduce investors to them, and that's a longer burn process. So I let them get on with it.
Why is an event like this that's in China, why is it important to you and important to the UK?
We've done it around the world, and because of the connections that we've got around the world, we were asked if we would deliver this in China, and I said with the greatest of pleasure. Delivered it last year, found it was a success, have built a network of people to work with in China over the last nearly 20 years now of coming to China. And so as a result of that, we've just kept it going. We're now going to expand this even more around China.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.
We're only hours away from filming. If we don't do this interview now, we'll never get him back.
He's called it off, Emily.
Fuck!
Okay, boys, let's go.
Morning. Sorry I'm late. Are we showing this picture of Prince Andrew and Epstein?
No, the story right now is Epstein's death.
So now they're all going to go after Ghislaine Maxwell, and once they've gone after her, they're going to go after Prince Andrew. Get me and him in a room together, and then I can do my thing. Emily Maitlis, BBC.
I've been warned about you. You have a bit of a reputation.
Well, for you, I'll try and behave.
I'm sure you will. We're sure this is right. A woman journalist.
The optics say she has to be female.
What's my strategy?
It's two targets. Why did he stay at a convicted paedophile's house? And did he have sex with Jeffrey when she was underage?
Well, she's cocky.
You can handle her.
You treat him like any other man facing allegations of sexual assault.
People forget, I've been to war. I'm going to blow this out the water.
Do you regret any of your behaviour or your friendship with Epstein?
Now, still not.
The Queen is in shock. The bottom line is to ensure that this scandal never touches the crown.
Now, tell us, Emily, how does it feel to take down a member of the monarchy?
I was only ever hoping to ask the right questions.
I was trying not to sound guilty.
Joffrey's team are preparing proceedings against you.
I'm fighting for my life here.
Whether Prince Andrew's guilty or not, it was the entitlement. He just couldn't help himself.
What do I do? You do believe me, don't you?